The most dangerous jobs in history. Many people think that workplace safety and the free market cannot coexist. According to Karl Marx, as competition reduces earnings, business owners and employers will have to make compromises to remain competitive. While technology advancements in certain professions led to safer working conditions, in many others, machinery and technology also played a role in worker accidents and fatalities. Even as we sit in the comfort of our work desks, there are millions who take up dangerous jobs for their livelihood. Have you ever thought of what's the most dangerous job in the world? We are here with a list of the most dangerous jobs that ever existed in history and the ones that still exist. Keep watching till the end to know more. Spartan soldiers. Swords, shields, and arrows were used in battle by soldiers, who served as the first line of defense. To approach their adversaries, they had to travel great distance and frequently arrived spent and depleted. Even still, Spartan troops were required to battle because giving up was regarded as the ultimate act of cowardice. Many soldiers lost their lives in the war, either from combat-related deaths or wounds. Chariot races from ancient Rome. In ancient Rome, chariot races were among the most famed and well-liked citizens. Chariot races attracted a sizable following when they competed in colosseums due to their fast-paced racing and combative tendencies. Because racers' wrists were fastened with the reins, an overturn nearly always resulted in death. Galley rower. Galley rowers were employed in piracy or combat. A galley was a sizable boat that could travel on the sea and was rowed. This career was seen as noble, particularly throughout the Middle Ages. However, as time went on, people like prisoners and criminals were made to row. Nearly half of the galley rowers did not survive, and about 1/3 passed away within 3 years. Plague body collector. In the 14th century, when the Black Plague killed almost half of Europe, bodies were all over the streets. An occupation known as a plague body collector was created, requiring the worker to gather corpses using nothing more than a cart, a rag to cover their faces, and flowers that were said to protect the collectors from getting the disease. Room and pillar mining. The room and pillar method was utilized in American mining, notably in the late 1890s and early 20th century. Separate chambers for each miner made labor supervision difficult, and frequent blasting was required to bring up coal. Because they are paid by the ton, miners frequently compromise their safety to increase production. 19th century American railroads. Workers on American railroads in the 19th century had to maneuver between moving freight trains to the coupler and uncoupler and ride the cars to operate the brakes. In the United States, on average, there were 8.52 fatalities per 1,000 employees annually in 1889. American loggers. In the United States, logging has long been a hazardous occupation. Loggers almost always run the danger of getting hurt or having an accident since they must navigate challenging terrain and use massive, heavy-cutting tools. In the United States, there are currently 84.3 fatal injuries for every 100,000 workers. Commercial fishermen. Fishing-related fatal injury rates in the United States are 99.8 deaths per 100,000 employees. They had to contend with sub-zero weather, rough seas, lengthy workdays, and cumbersome equipment. Construction workers. The International Labour Organization estimates that 30% of all occupational deaths worldwide are tied to the construction industry. Amputations, electrocution, and falls are among the dangers. Construction workers are also at an increased risk of acquiring cancer since they are frequently exposed to chemicals present in building materials. If you are still watching this video, do not forget to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss out on our content. Agriculture workers. The majority of fatalities and injuries in the agriculture industry are caused by long workdays and using powerful equipment. Although modern technology has increased agricultural productivity, it also increased the danger of injury or death due to machine failure. According to the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health, tractor accidents and tractor overturns are among the most common causes of death for agricultural workers. Roofers. Roofers run the risk of suffering burns from chemicals, electrocution from exposed wires, and being hit by falling debris, in addition to the risk of injury and death from falling. In the United States, there are 45.2 fatal injuries for every 100,000 workers. Aircraft pilots. Flight engineers and pilots in the United States experience fatal injuries at a rate of 48.6 deaths per 100,000 workers. Bush flying, which involves flying over challenging terrain and in places without designed landing strips, is one of the riskiest careers in aviation. Piloting can be dangerous due to dangerous terrain, bad weather, and bumpy takeoffs and landings. Sanitation workers and refuse collectors. Undoubtedly, one of the riskiest jobs in the world is collecting and sorting rubbish. The fatal injury rate in the United States is 35 deaths for 100,000 workers. Being hit by a car is more likely in congested, busy places like New York City because of impatient drivers and congested streets. The work is dangerous because things can fly off the back of the truck. Bags can burst, and debris including sharp glass, sewage, bowling balls and wood splinters can shoot out and injure people. Power linemen. These people frequently work at heights, long high-voltage power lines, and in adverse weather conditions. Communities rely on these lines to supply electricity to their homes, so occasionally personnel have to work during storms that knock out the cables. In the United States, there are 18.7 fatal injuries for every 100,000 workers in the field of power line maintenance. Underwater welders. Although electricity and water don't typically mix, for underwater welders it's just another aspect of their work. Workers in this industry repair pipelines, ships, dams, and other structures, and they are exposed to a variety of risks, such as explosions and risks from differential pressure. The United States Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, SDC, found that underwater welders die at a rate that is 40 times higher than the country's average. Iron and steel workers. This job is extremely dangerous because of factors like heights, steel beams, crumbling walls, electrical lines, and swinging things, to name a few. Structural iron and steel workers have the 6th most dangerous employment in this country, with 25.1 fatalities per 100,000 workers. Bull riders. In America and Australia, bull riding is a well-liked and steadily expanding sport, with the top professional bull riders earning millions over the years. One of the riskiest professions, it also has the greatest percentage of human injuries in rodeo. Injuries sustained while riding a bull are on the rise, with the chest, brain, and limbs suffering the most damage. Police officers. According to television and film, police officers have one of the deadliest occupations in the world, but in reality, they don't even make the list of 10 most dangerous jobs in the nation. Police officers face one significant difference and a common risk while on the job: murder. While homicide is rarely the cause of death in other professions, it does account for a share of police officer deaths each year. With that, we come to the end of this video. Drop your suggestions in the comments, and don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe. Refer to other videos on our channel, and stay tuned until we meet again.